Hello students, so I am here with the last and very important topic of chapter 2, which is comparison of electrovalent and covalent compounds. Actually many questions are asked from this comparison, so they can ask you indirectly to identify the type of compound by giving their properties, and they can also give the compound and you have to identify their properties. So be very careful in understanding the comparison. So here we start with the comparison of electrovalent or ionic and covalent compounds. So we are comparing their properties. So first property, we can compare the nature, how they exist and what is their constituent particles. Actually constituent particles are of three types. Constituent particles for any substance may be atoms, ions or molecules. Once again, constituent particles for any substance may be atoms, ions or molecules. So in this section we have to tell whether the ionic and covalent compounds they are made up of ions, atoms or molecules. What are their constituent particles that we have to compare here. So coming to electrovalent or ionic compound, their constituent particles are of course ions, because they are ionic compound made up of ions, so constituent particles are ions. But in case of covalent compounds, their constituent particles are molecules. Never get confused with atoms. No, covalent compounds are always made up of neutral molecules. Okay. Then second, the state of ionic or electrovalent compound, they always exist as hard solids because they are made up of ions, and ions have very strong electrostatic force of attraction between them. That's why they exist, mostly the ionic compound, they exist as hard solids. So with their nature you should give the reason also that why they are hard solid, because of very strong force of attraction between ions. Say next, covalent compounds, they exist mostly as liquid, gases or soft solid. The reason, they have weak intermolecular force of attraction between them. Okay, so the force of attraction is weak, that's why most of the covalent compounds, they are liquid, gases or soft solids. Next, very important, boiling point and melting point. Actually boiling point and melting point depends on how strongly the constituent particles are held together, how the strong force of attraction is holding them together. More stronger the force of attraction between the constituent particles, more higher will be the melting and boiling point. जितना ज़्यादा strongly एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं constant particles, उनको अलग करने के लिए उतनी ही ज़्यादा एनर्जी तक हमको हीट करना पड़ेगा to change the state. So melting and boiling point of ionic compounds will be definitely very high. Actually they are mostly non-volatile. You know what do you mean by volatile? Volatile solids means, or volatile substances means, they can easily change into vapors. By absorbing very little amount of energy, they can readily change into vapors. That process is volatile nature. But ionic compounds, as their constituent particles or the ions have very strong force of attraction between them, so they are non-volatile and they are very hard solids with high melting and boiling point. Reason is again same, due to very strong force of attraction, they have very high melting and boiling point. However, the covalent compounds, they are volatile, means they have weak force of attraction, so that force of attraction can be broken easily by absorbing very little amount of energy, and they can vaporize. So they have low melting and boiling point. Now coming to very important, double tick mark I am putting here, that electrical conductivity. This section of comparison is very important and many type of questions are asked from this section, that why ionic compounds are good conductor and covalent compounds are bad conductor. If a substance is a good conductor of electricity, then whether it is ionic or covalent compound, if it is polar, then it can conduct electricity or not. Many type of questions can be asked. So be very clear with the concept, then only you will be able to give every answer. So electrical conductivity for ionic compounds. Actually, you know, ionic compounds are made up of ions. So whenever they are dissolved in water or they are melted, Once again, whenever the ionic compounds are dissolved in water, means if they are in aqueous state or in their molten state, they become very good conductor of electricity. Why it is so? Because their aqueous and molten state release those ions in free fall. Actually, for example, sodium chloride crystal, this is the actual condition of sodium chloride salt. It is made up of sodium ion and chloride ion, as it is an ionic compound, and they have very strong force of attraction. So if you try to pass electricity through solid NaCl, it will not conduct electricity at all, because the ions are present but they are not free to move. They are, however, held together with very strong force of attraction. But if we break the force of attraction and if we can release the free ions in the solution, then only they will become mobile and will become good conductor of electricity. That can be done in two cases. If you dissolve NaCl in water, on dissolving, as water is also a polar solvent, so due to dipole interaction, the force of attraction between sodium and chloride ion breaks and they are released as free Na plus and Cl minus ions in the aqueous solution. Or we can also melt sodium chloride to very high melting point, and mostly ionic compounds, due to strong force of attraction, they have very high melting and boiling point. So but that process will be little bit difficult, because we have to keep sodium chloride in molten state in order to conduct the electricity. जब तक हमको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को पास करना है, तब तक सोडियम क्लोराइड मॉल्टन स्टेट में ही होना चाहिए. अगर आपने हीटिंग बंद कर दी और वापस सॉलिडिफाई हो गया, देन अगेन इट विल स्टॉप conducting the electricity. So it requires a very large amount of fuel to keep that sodium chloride or any ionic compound in their molten state. So we can prefer the aqueous state condition, but for electrolytic reduction we go for the molten state. That I will explain you later. Now coming to covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are generally bad conductor of electricity. What is the reason? Because they are made up of molecules, and molecules are neutral and they are unable to ionize. Molecules ionize फॉर्म नहीं कर पाते हैं, या अपने एक्वस या मॉल्टन स्टेट में आयंस रिलीज नहीं कर पाते हैं. दे रिमेन जॉइंट टुगेदर and they are neutral in nature. Molecules are neutral and they remain joined together in their aqueous as well as in their molten state. That's why they are bad conductor of electricity. So if a question comes, why covalent compounds are bad conductor? Due to absence of free mobile ions, they are bad conductor of electricity. However, polar covalent compounds, they become good conductor of electricity. Polar covalent compound like HCl. I have explained you what is polarity. HCl contains partial positive and partial negative charge. So such polar compounds, when they are dissolved in water, for polar compounds only one condition is required. No molten state will not bring any change in their conductivity, but in their aqueous state, polar compounds in their aqueous state becomes good conductor of electricity, because they are polar and water in which they are dissolved is also a polar solvent. Again, due to dipole interaction, this HCl will break and release H plus and Cl free ions in the solution, and then they become conductor of electricity. But yes, of course, the conductivity of polar covalent compound will be less than the ionic compounds. कंडक्टिविटी और द अमाउंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास्ड. अगर हम बल्ब की ब्राइटनेस को चेक करते हैं, हम एक NaCl के थ्रू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास करें, हम पोलर कोवलेंट से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास करें, एंड इफ़ वी आर सीइंग द ब्राइटनेस ऑफ द बल्ब, देन ऑफ कोर्स ionic compound will glow the bulb brightly, because the conductivity or the amount of electricity passed depends upon the amount of ions released in their solution. So ionic compounds, they release 100% ions in the solution. However, the polar covalent compounds, they are not completely ionized. Some are ionized and some are unionized. So its solution will contain ions as well as unionized molecules. So due to less number of ions, polar covalent compound can conduct less amount of electricity, but yes, they are conductor of electricity in their aqueous state. Now coming to another very important difference. Generally students get confused between these two terms, dissociation and ionization. Dissociation, remember this term always comes with ionic compound. What this word dissociation means, actually थोड़ा सा डेफिनेशन का डिफरेंस है, अदरवाइज वी कैन एक्सचेंज दीज वर्ड्स. हम डिसोसिएशन के लिए जगह पे आयनाइजेशन यूज़ कर सकते हैं, आयनाइजेशन की जगह डिसोसिएशन भी लिख सकते हैं. देयर इज़ नो बिग डिफरेंस, बट actually they are different if we explain the phenomena through their definitions. So what is the dissociation? Dissociation is a process of separation of ions. Actually ionic compounds, what are ionic compounds? These are the compounds which are made up of ions. So already in their solid state they contain ions, but these ions are not free because they are held together with the strong electrostatic force of attraction. But if you dissolve the ionic solvent in water or if you melt them, then only they can separate into free ions. So this is dissociation. Dissociation means ions which were already present just to get separated. That is dissociation. Ions are not formed. Ions were already present in the compound, but just by passing electricity or by melting or by dissolving them in water, they have released ions freely in their solution. That's why the process dissociation is used here. So dissociation is release of free mobile ions or separation of free mobile ions. Now what is the word ionization means? Ionization means formation of ions from a neutral molecule, like polar covalent compounds, HCl. It is a neutral molecule. If you check the molecule, they are not ionized, but yes, when they are dissolved in water, then they form ions. So this is the process of formation of ions from a neutral molecule. That is what ionization. Okay, so polar covalent compounds, they get ionized in their aqueous solution and release ions. However, ionic compounds which were already contain ions in their solid state, just they separate or they release their ions in their aqueous form. That is dissociation, and formation of ions is ionization. Once again, separation of ions is dissociation, formation of ion from a neutral molecule is ionization. Now next to solubility. If you talk about the solubility of ionic compounds, all or most of the ionic compounds, they get readily dissolved in water, because water being polar in nature, and due to dipole interaction, these ions the bond between them breaks, and these ions they get dissolved in these ionic compounds, they get dissolved by releasing ions in their solution. Okay, so ionic compounds, they are highly soluble in water because water is polar in nature and ionic compounds contain ions. However, they are insoluble in organic solvent. Organic solvents जो हैं वो non polar होते हैं, they are molecular like ether, alcohol, benzene. These are the organic solvents. तो ionic compounds organic solvent में dissolve नहीं होंगे. However, covalent compounds, they mostly covalent compounds, they are insoluble in water, but yes, they are soluble in organic solvents. मॉलिकुलर फॉर्म में होते हैं कोवलेंट कंपाउंड्स, तो इसलिए इनमें वाटर की पोलैरिटी का कोई असर नहीं पड़ता है. सो दे आर इनसॉल्युबल इन वाटर, बट येस दे गेट रेडली डिजॉल्व इन ऑर्गेनिक सॉल्वेंट. लास्ट कंपैरिजन इज बिटवीन रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन, हाउ फास्ट दे रिएक्ट. अगर आयनिक कंपाउंड और कोवलेंट कंपाउंड की रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन या रिएक्टिविटी को हम चेक करेंगे, देन ऑफ कोर्स आयनिक कंपाउंड शो वेरी फास्ट रिएक्शंस, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी दे आर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ आयंस. जस्ट on adding two reactants, they are already in their ionic forms, just they have to exchange or they have to rearrange their ions to give the new product. So that process is very fast. However, covalent compounds, their rate of reaction is slow because they have covalent linkage between them. They have the covalent linkage, single, double or triple bond between them. So they need time to break the old bond and for the formation of the new bond. So always the covalent compounds, they give very slow rate of reaction due to covalent linkage. Okay, so here I have explained all the topics of the second chapter, and I think now we can start the third chapter one by one. One topic I will take in one day because it is very important chapter, and please try to solve all the exercise questions of chapter 2 as well. And I hope this comparison table will help you very much, because many students send me the doubts, then I was eagerly waiting to explain this topic to you. Now I hope that you can easily understand how to answer those questions. Okay, so wait for the next video.